the Orioles and the Nationals on a perfect baseball evening. 81 degrees under clear skies. This ballpark opened in 2008, seats almost 42,000, and this should be the largest crowd of the 3 weekend games. Orioles are hitting .249, 7th in the league. They take on Ross Detweiler tonight. And the Oriole lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Up and down the lineup, Hardy, Markakis, Jones, Wieters, all hitting for great power. And when Adam Jones hits his 13 home runs this year, the Orioles are 12-1. They're third in the league in runs behind the Rangers and the Red Sox, and lead all of Major League Baseball with, count 'em, 62 home runs already. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Ross Detweiler is a former #1 pick back in 07 out of Missouri State, Ryan Howard's alma mater. For the Washington Nationals, he'll make his 8th start with a record of 3-2 and a 2.75 ERA. And Billy, he is a left-hander that can power right-handed hitters inside if he goes in there.
He's a unique guy because a lot of left-handers like to live on the outside part of the plate, throw a lot of off-speed pitches. This guy loves his heater, and he's not afraid to challenge the right-hand hitters inside.
He's made 2 career starts against Baltimore with an 0-1 and a ERA of 4.91. His scouting report.
Yeah, and like I said before, he loves his fastball, and he's going to believe in his fastball. But that first one up there, I want to point out, keep the leadoff man off base. This is not rocket science. This is what happens when good pitchers face good hitting teams. You got to keep the leadoff guy off base to limit damage if you're going to give up any runs at all.
He really relies on his fastball. He'll run it, he'll sink it. And you better sink it against a Baltimore team that's hitting the ball in the air for as much power as these guys are this year. Robert Andino, a .245 career hitter in parts of 7 years with the Marlins and the Orioles. They have him up in the leadoff spot against the left-hander tonight, and he's batting .264.
And Andino's done a really nice job filling in for Brian Roberts. He's played second base. He's played it well, but he's also supplied a little bit of that power and run-scoring capabilities that Brian Roberts does.
Andino in a little bit of a tailspin here, 5 for his last 38 over 10 games. Detweiler throws that one away. It's fouled that way, and no balls, 2 strikes to start the game. Ross Detweiler, last time out against the Padres, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Didn't have much of a strikeout touch that night, just 3. One of his lowest totals of the season.
That's a really good 0-2 pitch right there. Fastball in off the plate just a little bit and just a little bit up. That sets him up to do anything he wants on this pitch. He can come back in, or he can go away with something off speed.
Target is in, and that's a ball topped over to third base, and Ryan Zimmerman lets it go. The Nationals pitching staff leads all of Major League Baseball with a 2.90 earned run average. The starters are 2.63, and here's a guy with a 2.75, and he's considered the #5 starter. There's Gio Gonzalez, the #2, and we'll visit with him during the game tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And you mentioned Detweiler's success, and he's the one guy rumored to go back into the bullpen if a possible scenario arises.
Yeah, Chin-Ming Wong is near the end of his rehab. The veteran sinker baller got hurt in spring training. 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss.
And there's that fastball inside that he is not afraid of using right there. He got after Andino, got ahead of him 0-2, messed around with a couple pitches, and he comes back and pinpoints a 95-mile-an-hour heater on the inner third.
Detweiler's 29th strikeout in 39 innings. J.J. Hardy off to a good start here. 9 homers, 20 RBIs, and he's wearing out left-handers to the tune of 364. That's the 8th best batting average against lefties in the American League.
And this is a great matchup to watch right here. Detweiler loves his fastball. J.J. Hardy can turn one around. Let's see what gives.
Tied Troy Tulowitzki among Major League shortstops last year with 30 home runs. He drove in 80 for the Orioles.
It's unusual right there to see Hardy take a 2-0 fastball. You got to know it's coming. I mean, this guy loves his heater, and he took 93 right down the middle.
And then he blows it by him. This is the first time J.J. Hardy has faced Detweiler in his career, despite Hardy's time in the National League with Milwaukee from 2005 to 2010.
I think what you saw right there is a good view of an effortless fastball. Detweiler doesn't put maximum effort into it. And no maximum effort at 96 climbing the ladder.
Yeah, he throws free and easy. Career record of 9-16. He came to the major leagues for a brief spell, his first professional season, then toiled away in the minors. Washington has used him out of the bullpen at times. And a 2-2 is just off the corner, according to Andy Fletcher, the 13-year veteran working home plate tonight. Payoff pitch. A good sign for Washington is the fact that the first two hitters have both fouled the ball off on the ground, because Detweiler's forte is keeping it down.
Well, it looks like he can elevate his fastball when he wants to. And that was that 96 that you saw that Hardy got a piece of. But then the next two look like the two-seamers trying to run him down and away.
Target outside corner. Well hit left field. Roger Bernardina plays it on a hop and misses it. Hardy heading for at least two, makes the turn, and he will go as Bernardina couldn't pick the ball up. Roger Bernardina getting caught in between hops on this line drive.
Well, he did get caught in between right there. Made a good effort on it, because once you were there, he tried to goalie up and save it. But when the ball gets by him, though, he didn't pick it up on the track. Hardy was kind of getting caught begging a little bit. Sit down, ball, sit down. And then once it got by him, he took off. But right there, that little hesitation, it's because Bernardino didn't pick it up clean out there on the warning track, allowed another base.
Orioles a runner at third base, one out, and Nick Markakis the hitter. And he's trying to make it his second consecutive RBI in this series after he won the game for the Orioles last night. 7 homers, 20 RBIs, and he's hot. 9 RBIs in his last 11 games. Just missing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off Ryan Matthews with 1 out in the top of the 11th last night. It was a no-doubter.
Wow, there's something about that left-hander down and in. When you throw it down there, you're asking for trouble. Nick Markakis liked that one. Hit off the second deck face.
Yes, he did. And then Washington was shut down in the bottom of the 11th by Pedro Strop, getting his third save. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Markakis. The thing about the Washington pitching staff, in situations like this, they all have the capability to get the strikeout or overpower somebody for the pop-up you're looking for.
Well, it looks like he loves that command to that side of the plate. He's trying to come in right here.
Ground ball Zimmerman. He's going to come home. Accurate throw. Runner is out as Maldonado held on. That is a Gold Glove play by Ryan Zimmerman.
And that's just awareness all the way around by Ryan Zimmerman. You see Markakis up at home plate. You know there's 2 strikes. Markakis does a good job of getting back to this ball, defending against the strikeout, and then Ryan Zimmerman spins around, throws a strike to home plate just in time to get J.J. Hardy. And he got him.
Wow, how close was that? Andy Fletcher right on the call. I just wonder, Bill, how many third basemen on a play like that settle for the out at first? Zimmerman did not.
There's quite a few of them. I'll go to Tampa Bay, and when there's a healthy Evan Longoria, you know that play's going to be made. But I put Ryan Zimmerman and Evan Longoria right now in a class by themselves in the American League, or in baseball for that matter.
Zimmerman's made only 1 error this year. He's won a Gold Glove in the past. And there's the tag applied by Carlos Maldonado with the foot of J.J. Hardy, maybe 2 or 3 inches above the plate. So here's Adam Jones with 2 outs. I think anybody's in scoring position, even if they're at first base when he's batting. That's out of play right side.
Well, Adams in scoring position when he's hitting. That's what he's showing lately. 13 home runs, and just a very confident guy. He's one of those guys that I watch play, and I wonder if enough's enough for us fans of baseball, because he does things so effortlessly and so easily that we keep wanting more out of Adam Jones. This year, he's certainly providing it.
This is one of those guys Buck Showalter told us today. He doesn't want to be overcoaching young talents like this and Xavier Avery, who just got called up and has been leading off for the Orioles, but batting 8th tonight. There's a couple of wild young stallions. You don't want to get a rope around them too much. You want them to do their thing and make things happen one way or the other.
Yeah, and Buck talked about it's nice to be able to pull a guy back every now and then. You know, for years he said in baseball it seems like you got to push guys forward. He actually has to hold him back sometimes.
2 balls and a strike. That is hit hard. And the Orioles have 2 solid hits to left field. And it'll be first and second, 2 outs with Matt Wieters coming up.
And I think if you look at this in years past, if a play was made against the Orioles, right there, you stop a run at home plate, Adam Jones is coming up, he might just flail at something and say, you know what, we're not scoring this inning, and go out there. Instead, you put a quality at bat together, you hit a rocket to left, you keep moving the chain. You move the line, you let another guy come up and see if he can't get some damage done.
That's an 11-game hitting streak now for Adam Jones, who's been getting it done for the Orioles right in front of Matt Wieters. And don't think that Wieters doesn't have something to do with that. He's hit 8 homers, driven in 20, and he's giving Adam Jones some protection out of that number 5 spot.
There's a lot of quiet confidence with Matt Wieters' game right now, whether it's behind the dish, handling the pitching staff, or in the batter's box.
1-0 pitch. Right on that fastball, it went straight back. Wieters was going a whole lot better about a week and a half ago. He's only 4 for his last 36, but still hitting .250. 2 walks career in 2 plate appearances against Ross Detweiler. Well out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be a long first inning. At least 25, now 26 pitches coming for Detweiler in the very first frame.
It'll seem a lot shorter if he can get Wieters out and stop the damage right here, or before damage happens. So a lot rides on this at bat right here.
One and 2 to Wieters, hitting over 300 from the right side of the plate. And he takes that fastball right on the inside corner. So a defensive play by Ryan Zimmerman saves Washington at least 1 run and maybe more. In some cases, families divided. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, less than 40 miles away from here. And Jason Hamill will face this Washington lineup, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. A change in the lineup tonight. Ian Desmond's been leading off all year. Danny Espinosa, the second baseman, slumping a bit, so they put the Maryland resident Steve Lombardozzi, son of a former major leaguer, in the leadoff spot, and Desmond, who homered here last night, batting fifth behind Zimmerman and LaRoche. 30-year-old right-hander Jason Hamill. He's off to a great start, 4 out of 5, 2.68 the ERA, and he's had good success against Washington, 3-0 career in 5 starts. Here's Lombardozzi, who Davey Johnson, even as a rookie, already considers one of his most fundamental ball players. And here's the report on Hamill in his 7 starts so far. 3-1 on that strikeout to walk ratio. Robert Andino handles the bouncer for 1 out. And here comes an emerging story in Washington. 19-year-old Bryce Harper.
Can't imagine what it was like. I mean, my 19-year-old age, I would think it was my second time through rookie ball, struggling beyond belief. Here's a guy with all the pressure of playing in the big leagues and all the hype that has surrounded him, and I think he's handled himself extremely well so far. 17
hits in his first 19 big league games. He's hit his first 2 homers this week in this ballpark, over the center field wall and then above the scoreboard right center. Teams have really been working him away. That's a strike on the corner. And he hasn't been seeing, Bill, that many fastballs because they know he can hit that.
Well, he's going to see a few tonight. But I do agree with you. I think when you look at a young kid like this with all that hype, they want to see if he's going to go fishing a little bit.
Hamill misses with a breaking ball down and in. So Harper hitting at 246. For the first couple weeks of his career, he had more walks than strikeouts. That sounded like a busted bat. Strike 2.
And it was. And that's okay, because what I like about this young kid's approach is the fact that he wants to use the big part of the field. You talked about his first 2 homers going right, center, and center. That tells me that his approach is sound. He's big and strong enough to do anything he wants on a baseball field. He doesn't have to get pull happy.
3rd inning, Nationals leading 3-1 at the time against Tim Stauffer of San Diego. And then Anthony Bass, the victim. There's the one right above the big sign out there. So he went back-to-back, one of the few 19-year-olds to ever do that. And the Orioles able to strike him out away as Hamill hits that corner, 2 down.
He got pitched to right there. That's all there is to it. You know, he jammed him, broke his bat. That says, you know what, I got to start a little bit sooner because this dude just got in my kitchen. And then he paints him away with a nice 2-seam fastball.
Next up is Ryan Zimmerman, who's hitting into a lot of bad luck this season. Had a shoulder that put him on the DL for 2 weeks, hitting just 232, but he's been hitting lots of line drives. He is 5 for 14 career against Hamill with a homer and 3 RBIs. By far the Washington hitter that has seen the most of this right-hander.
And when he's healthy too, you want him in the lineup, even if he's struggling a little bit. That's okay with me because his presence puts everybody else in the lineup where they belong. Yeah. When he's not in it, there's somebody else has got to try to move into that spot. This is his spot in the order.
And by the way, he injured that shoulder diving all over the place on the homestand that's opened the season. He had 5 or 6 diving plays in the span of about a week and a half, and he just needed some time on the DL to get things all put back together. Plays the game hard. Probably the most aggressive third baseman you'll see defensively.
He can certainly pick it. There's no doubt about that. He's a big guy, but he certainly is very agile over there. Not foot speed wise, not fast, but very quick with his steps.
And a good batting eye. 16 walks to go with 20 strikeouts on the year. That ball hit well to center, but Adam Jones is right there. A 1-2-3 bottom of the first for Jason Hamill, and the Orioles not bad either on the mound. Second best ERA American League. Presented by Chevrolet is sponsored by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball. South Capitol Street, Washington Nationals Park sits about 1.7 miles south of the Rotunda up on Capitol Hill. Matchup of veteran managers Buck Showalter and former Oriole Davey Johnson, who told us today he wants to beat his old team in the worst way. And I think we sensed some frustration from that ball game last night. Meanwhile, Wilson Betemit leads off the second, and of the first 6 Baltimore hitters, 3 base hits.
Wilson Betemit has been a nice little surprise, too, for Buck Showalter's Birds. Seems like he's hit a couple timely home runs himself.
Steve Tollefson, the third baseman, is next. The Orioles have been looking for answers at third base with Mark Reynolds injured.
It's been pretty amazing because the Orioles have not caught the ball that well this year. And for them to be up at the top of the division in the American League East is pretty amazing.
That's a great bunt.
Nice play.
Detweiler goes for the tag, and that's all he could do on a brilliant bunt by Steve Tollefson, and a very good play by the pitcher.
That's a tough play right there. That's almost in no man's land. It's definitely a sacrifice bunt to give yourself up. Tollefson puts us in a real good spot in that little Bermuda Triangle, right in between everybody. The flip by LaRoche, and then Detweiler had the presence of mind because he says, I can't beat him to the bag. I'm going to catch it, I'm going to swipe tag and hit him. That's a nice play.
Runner in scoring position, 1 out. And the number 8 hitter, at least tonight, is Xavier Avery. The reason he's batting 8th, he's a left-handed batter. He was hitting .273 at AAA Norfolk when they called him up over 33 games. And Xavier Avery, 7 for 25 in his first 6 big league games. Baltimore's second-round draft pick back in 08. Out of Cedar Grove High School in Georgia, an outstanding athlete who almost went to the SEC to play defensive back. Georgia offered him a football scholarship, and then he had a chance to be around Nick Saban in Alabama for a while, was leaning toward them when the Orioles made him that second-round pick.
And another player that Buck was talking about, don't overcoach him. Let him go out there and play the game. He may make some mistakes, but he's going to make them on the aggressive side. Then we can tone it back from there.
2 balls, no strikes. Off the hands, out of play left side. Just an early check of Avery's on-base percentage, which is interesting to look at for a young guy leading off. In his first 6 major league games, .357 on-base percentage.
It's a nice way to start. I mean, this is just an athlete that is choosing to play baseball right now. So the baseball games and everything else are not there with everybody else. You can only imagine his upside.
2 balls, 1 strike. Went with a fastball, low and away, 3-1. Jason Hamill, the pitcher, coming up next. And he can handle the bat. He has 20 major league hits, including a home run.
Was that in Colorado?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So the ball even carries there for pitchers, huh? 2 on, 1 out. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian for a DirecTV game break.
Hey, Bob Ripper, the Phillies have won 6 in a row. Mike Aviles would like to see that streak go away. His 7th of the year starts the scoring between the Red Sox and Phils. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to you guys in the Beltway.
So how about the Red Sox struggling, even when they're getting such a great start from Cody Ross?
And that's one of the things right there that you're looking at. This is a nice execution of a sac bunt.
Perfect bunt. Adam LaRoche handles it to the second baseman. Betemit to third, Avery to second.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why. I think Buck was trying to switch his rotation around a little bit to get Hamill pitching in this interleague series because he has National League experience. He's certainly right there, handled the bat extremely well, got both runners up.
That's his 23rd career sacrifice. Hey, listen to this. last year, the Baltimore pitchers hit .409 in interleague play, and Zach Britton was 5 out of 8, an American League record for a pitcher during any individual season of interleague. So they were 9 for 22 last year. Wow. Top of the order, here's Robert Andino.
So he was 5 for 8, which is an American League record.
That's a base hit. That's going to score 2, it appears. Bernardina's throw cut off. They have Andino hung up between first and second. Lombardozzi runs him back. Ryan Zimmerman will tag him. But the Orioles will pick up 2, and they've had their way with Detweiler first time around the lineup. Is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Orioles have 4 hits and a walk already. Losing Andino in the rundown between first and second, but he drove in 2 runs. And now Washington down by 2, sending up LaRoche, Desmond, and Ankiel, bottom of the second. Adam LaRoche, in many ways, has been carrying this Washington team most of the season. Batting average just out of the top 10 in the National League at .323. He has the league's 8th highest on base percentage and the league's 4th highest RBI total.
He certainly is carrying that phrase right now, looking hitterish at home plate. There is a calm relax about him, and then when you see him go after a pitch that he wants, he gets after it. There's no just guiding the bat to the ball. He's trying to do damage.
And there's your high view of the shift. Robert Andino about 20 feet into right field. LaRoche gets under that one and pops it up short center. Adam Jones, and getting some run support early, Jason Hamels retired 4 straight. Bernardina's throw cut off a moment ago by Ryan Zimmerman to create that rundown.
Now watch this angle right here, though, because I think Andino got a little bit greedy. Because right there, Avery is going to go to college to play D-back, right? Yeah. You know he's got speed. So I don't think Andino's actually got to come around that bag right there. Zimmerman did a great job understanding what was going on. Catches it, makes the turn to first base to get that out. But right there, the Orioles could have still been hitting with J.J. Hardy at home plate.
7-5-3-4-5 on that play. The third baseman ended up over there by first base, Zimmerman, to make that tag. Ian Desmond has been Washington's 2nd best hitter this year. The shortstop, 8th in the league in hits. He's hit safely 7 of his last 8 games and homered here last night. He is a homegrown national that goes back to the days of the Expos. Drafted by Montreal in '04, the 84th overall player taken. He's been in the big league since his September '09 call-up. Very aggressive hitter, doesn't like the breaking ball that much, but he loves fastballs.
And this would be a good matchup for him because Hamill likes his fastball as well. Not quite as much as Detweiler, but right there just established that he can have a pretty good breaking ball as well.
Nobody's really been giving any protection to Adam LaRoche lately. So Desmond's in the number 5 spot for the first time this season. As a leadoff guy, he's been hitting .272. The on-base percentage not much higher, at only .294. He just doesn't take that many walks. 6 of them in about 6 weeks of the season. Got a piece of that breaking ball, right field line, and unreachable for Nick Markakis. Let's have a look at our Ford keys to the game.
The Orioles, of course, are the road warriors. Winning games on the road. This is not big of a road trip for them, though. They just drive down a little bit. And the Nats need to improve on their situational hitting. All right, when you're not scoring runs and sometimes you rely on the long ball, you've got to do some little things to get it done.
That's been called a swing and a miss, it appears, by Andy Fletcher. Ball got away. Desmond was claiming he foul tipped it, and that's why he didn't run to first. 2 outs.
Yeah, I think he was trying to sell that one.
Yeah. Well, and hitters will tell you, Bill, if you run to first base, you've just told the umpire you swung and missed.
Right, you didn't hit it. There's only one person that can hit that one anyway, and that's Vlad. He might be back in baseball here soon.
Here's Rick Ankiel. Mired in an 0 for 12, featuring a lot of strikeouts. Ankiel has struck out 29 times in 92 at-bats. Big, strong left-handed hitter when he connects. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But isn't this still one of the best stories ever, where a pitcher that goes awry, can't throw the ball over home plate, becomes a hitter and an everyday player like he's done? I think it's truly amazing.
11-7 with a 3.50 ERA in 30 starts as a St. Louis rookie in 2000.
And then the thing crept in. He couldn't throw a strike very well.
Yeah. Steve Blass, Rick Ankiel. It's happened to others, and they have no explanation for it whatsoever.
Right. But for pitchers to go through all that time with forfeiting this many at-bats, for him just to be able to pick up the bat again and get after it really is a tribute to his athletic ability.
That's a strike on the inside corner. Jason Hamill, 6 in a row, will return to Nationals Park after a word from your local Fox station. Baseball night in America, presented by Chevrolet. Nationals Park on a Saturday night, mid-May. Bob Carpenter, Bill Ripken. Perfect night to sit out in the red porch area, enjoy some good food and drink, and watch some solid baseball. Most of it from the Orioles tonight so far. And here's J.J. Hardy, who would have been batting with Andino on base had Robert not been caught in that rundown. Hardy, triple left field, scooting by Roger Bernardina his first time up.
And Hardy really did put together a great at bat in that first at bat to get that triple. Fouled off a lot of pitches, went deep into the count. Got it looked like a low two-seamer that he hit a rocket to left on that skipped by Bernardino.
Orioles a good fastball hitting team, and Detweiler this year throws 73% fastballs. Now, Bill, based on the early part of this game, is he going to have to get some more off-speed stuff going, because they're timing his fastball pretty well?
It looks like they're timing it well, or he might be missing his spots just a little bit. The one pitch to Wieters that he got him on was that textbook, what I would say, the Detweiler fastball in on a right-hander and froze him. So if he's getting too much part of the plate, no matter how hard you throw, people are going to square it up.
Ian Desmond, very athletic play, but nothing he could do, and J.J. Hardy is 2 for 2. Back to the studio we go to Matt Vescursion for a DirecTV game break.
Bob, Diamondbacks and Royals. Kansas City's lost 3 straight at home, but this should help. Ryan Roberts, a fly ball for Gerard Dyson. 50th round draft pick, 50th in 2006, and he throws out Jason Kubel trying to score. The Royals are on the board first. It's 1-0 Kansas City. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Bob and Bill.
All right, thanks, Matt. Royals trying to break a 3-game losing streak. Nothing compared to that really bad streak they had a couple of weeks into the season. They've been clawing their way back, and that's a big-time uphill battle in Kansas City.
And you know, Detweiler's not discouraged. He's still attacking the strike zone with fastballs. He's getting ahead of hitters. He just hasn't been able to finish them or put them away.
He's thrown 8 first-pitch strikes to the first 11 batters, so he's been ahead. That is over below to Nick Markakis, who reached on the fielder's choice first time on that outstanding 5-2 fielder's choice engineered by Ryan Zimmerman, resulting in the tag at home. Nick Markakis loves National League pitching. Only Josh Hamilton, Dustin Pedroia better over the years. Michael Morse, the Nationals hope to have him back when they come back from their next road trip, which will take them to Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Miami. They want to have that big slugger who hit 31 homers last year ready by the time they go to Fenway Park to DH on June 8th.
Be a nice ballpark to come back to.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting count right here. You got Nick Markakis up. Hardy can run. This is a nice hit and run count. Now, Markakis, as he showed last night, has the ability to go second deck, but do you put a little bit something on here, put a baseball play on?
And a bouncing ball, Desmond backhand. Lombardozzi for 1, and a pretty good job by J.J. Hardy of going after the second baseman.
Maybe Buck should have been listening to me there, because that was a nice time to maybe put a baseball play on. That's a nice play. That's not going to be a double play right there, and I think Desmond understood that. I think Lombo should have just eaten this thing right here, because he's not going to turn it on Nick. Nick runs too well, but I thought Desmond did a nice job being sure of the first out.
Lombardozzi is considered an excellent defensive second baseman, and this goes back to spring training. Davey Johnson has used him at second, short, third, and in left field.
And has handled it extremely well no matter where he goes.
Here's Adam Jones, who already has a base hit tonight to extend his hitting streak. He was 2 for 5 with an RBI single in the first inning last night. Baltimore's only run for 3 hours and 13 minutes until Markakis took one out of here.
Once again, Detweiler's trying that fastball in the inner part of the plate to the righties. He's so free and easy that I think that is a very successful pitch, because the righty just doesn't buy into this dude coming into my kitchen. And if he hits his spot effectively, he can be effective in there.
Jones with that base hit, getting his average up over 300 now. And there goes a shot way out of here. That is over the bullpen. And Baltimore blasting its way to a 4-0 lead.
Wow. Right there, that's a sign that a guy is really hot at home plate with a homer stroke, getting a fastball in the inner third and not missing it.
Adam Jones with his 14th of the year. The Orioles with their 63rd. And as we mentioned earlier tonight, when he homers, they've gone 12-1 this year.
Yeah, and I think tried to get inside. That ball looked like it had a little two-seam tail that went down middle, down low. Adam Jones didn't miss it.
They are taking some comfortable swings right now, and Zimmerman throws out Matt Wieters for the second out.
I think we're going to see a short, compact stroke. And it's kind of interesting, too, because Adam Jones, tall and lean. Sometimes you could get a little long with your swing. That was textbook.
Adam Jones keeps this up. He'll be flirting with 100 career home runs here soon. With his 14 this year, he's hit 89. So here's Wilson Betemit, who singled up the middle in the second early in the count to get that 2-run rally started. And this kind of deficit to a Washington team that's not hitting much feels probably like 7-8-0. Hot shot to shortstop. Even the outs are hitting sharply here. Adam Jones goes deep for the 14th time this year. Brian Roberts, trying to come back from concussion syndrome, joins us in a moment. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Okay, great. Hey, we'll be back shortly, and thanks for joining us. On to the top of the fourth, bottom of the third inning, actually, here in Washington. It'll be Carlos Maldonado leading off, and he takes a strike. Washington beset by a bunch of injuries to catchers. 1 week ago tonight in Cincinnati, their starting catcher, Wilson Ramos, tore his ACL. They brought up Sandy Leon from Double-A. He got hurt, ankle sprain, his first game on a play at the plate. And now Carlos Maldonado, a journeyman catcher who spent most of his career in the minor leagues, is the Washington backup to Jesus Flores. First at bat at the major league level this year. And
it's good for these guys to get the opportunity, but you also look at it. You look at the the successes that the Orioles have had, because Matt Wieters is that mainstay behind home plate. Now all of a sudden when you're in Washington, all these different guys are catching these talented group. It's got to be a little bit of a setback for these pitchers to look every night at a different guy calling the pitches.
And meanwhile, while Washington hopes to welcome some guys back from injury soon, so do the Oriole fans, as Brian Roberts joins us. And Brian, I know it's very frustrating for you. You haven't had an at-bat this year, but you told us earlier today, close to coming back is the word you used. How you feeling?
I'm doing okay, guys. Thanks. Definitely closer than I've been in over a year since my injury happened, and just excited to get out there and have some fun and hopefully get back on the field.
Hey, B-Rob, is it simple when we're dealing with this concussion syndrome that not a lot of people know about? Can you describe it as sometimes you just don't feel right? Is it that simple?
I guess that's one way to describe it. There's, as you said, there's really no way to necessarily describe it to somebody who's never had it. There's a lot of different things that go into it, and each one is unique and each one is different. That's the hard part about it is, I dealt with probably some things that were different than maybe Justin Morneau or Sidney Crosby or guys like that, and they probably dealt with things that were different than what I have. But the biggest thing is getting on a program and getting with a doctor and things that they can diagnose those and help you recover from them.
Well, I tell you what, seeing you out there on the field today in batting practice and working on some things, your spirits look good from afar. Take me through the little small pud that you were using out there in your drills.
Yeah, it's started just getting back into being on the field. It's been a long time for me, so I'm trying to do things that are going to help me with my concentration, help me make it a little bit easier once I get into a game situation. So I've been using a little small training glove, which I've really enjoyed. It just makes you focus on catching the ball in the same place all the time, makes you focus on a routine ground ball, whereas, as big leaguers, sometimes we get a little bit lazy during BP, or when we take so many ground balls over and over again, you tend to lose a little bit of concentration. So those are things I've been doing to try and keep my concentration level high, so that when I do get into the game, it's a little bit easier.
Hey, Brian, if your uniform that I saw this afternoon that you were wearing was any indication, and by the way, that was a great play by Steve Tollison over at third to throw out the catcher, Maldonado. I mean, you were infield dirt, warning track dirt, head to toe. So what kind of stuff are you doing out there? Are you doing some dives and trying to simulate some game situations? Yeah, that's one of the last kind of hurdles that my doctors really wanted me to get over, is to get on the ground. That's the last way that I was injured, was diving into first base. And certainly anytime that I think a player has an injury, one of the hardest things coming back is to do the activity that got you injured in the first place. And so getting back on the ground, diving for ground balls, stealing bases, sliding into second, sliding into third, those are things that I've been working on. It's certainly been a long time since I did that in practice. I did it growing up as a kid, but you don't do it much once you get to certainly the major league level. You don't dive much during practice or slide, just because you don't want to risk an injury during practice. But it's been fun to get out and kind of act like a kid again and take ground balls and dive all over the field. And with the Nationals pitchers were out playing some ultimate frisbee, I think they looked at me like I was crazy today.
Hey, Brian, you've certainly been there in Baltimore through some lean times. And right now you're not out on the field, but you're enjoying watching your teammates go out there on a nightly basis and win some games. Does this make it even more so that you want to push the envelope and get back out there?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit bittersweet, as I've told a lot of people, is that I've been here a long time, and I've been looking forward to playing on a team that has a chance to compete in August and September. And I think that this is a team that can do that. At the same time, I can't control my outside circumstances. So all I'm trying to do is come to the park every day, work hard, and enjoy the good times and the successes these guys are having with them. Try to encourage them, try to be as much help as I can. And then, when I get the opportunity, hopefully I can come back and give a little bit of a push to us. Washington Nationals, their first base runner on the Roger Bernardino walk. Ross Detweiler, one sacrifice this year, 4 career. We're visiting with Brian Roberts. Brian, is it hard to believe that it's been a full year plus 3 days since you played your last game? Yeah, it's sometimes it feels like 5 years and sometimes it feels like yesterday. It's just been one of those things that's been so up and down, and so many twists and turns to the rehab, and you have some good days and some bad days that really you lose track of time. We were in Kansas City the other day when I had my 1-year kind of anniversary, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, and I was just so grateful that it was on a good day and that my days are looking up and up and that it wasn't on a down note. So it's been a long time. Things are going to happen pretty quick, I'm sure, when I get back on the field, and 90 is going to look like 120, but I'm just excited to get back out there and play the game that I have grown up loving and the game that I still love, and I want to get out there and play again.
Well, Brian, I know all Orioles fans look forward to that. Hey, we appreciate your time.
Sure.
Continued good luck in your comeback, and we appreciate the way you play the game.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Brian Roberts, 34 years young, sitting out an entire year. Steve Lombardozzi trying to get Washington on the board here.
Tell you what, Bob, I was privileged enough to be on the coaching staff of the USA team in the WBC. When Brian Roberts came in and joined us, talent-wise, what he has the ability and the capabilities of doing on the baseball field is amazing. And I hope for him he can get back out there and have the Baltimore fans be able to see that talent back at work. 1-1
strike to Lombardozzi. He'll bounce one to the left side. Bernardina tried to shield J.J. Hardy off the ball, and the shortstop stayed with it. Washington still hitless after 3 innings. By Chevrolet, proud to sponsor youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. And sponsored by Olympic Maximum Stain and Sealant in One. That is the World War II memorial here. One side for the Atlantic, one side for the Pacific here in Washington, D.C. Top of the 4th inning, Steve Tollefson, Xavier Avery, and Jason Hamill against Ross Detweiler, who's given up 4 runs on 6 hits already. First pitch off speed outside to Tollefson, who pushed a perfect sacrifice bunt to the right side his first time up. But Bill, you were talking about third base for this ball club. They've made 39 errors this year. A dozen of them have come by a different cast of characters over there at third, with Mark Reynolds out for an extended period of time. And Reynolds is not a Gold Glove third baseman himself.
No, but that's a little bit too many errors to be making. And I tell you, it amazes me when you watch this ball club. They have a way of overcoming some of those errors that happen at bad times because they're playing with such a confidence right now.
Most errors in the American League, 3rd most in the major leagues, but they've got the pitching. and the bats to get around that. There's another hot shot. Zimmerman.
Pick it, Zim.
On a short hop for the out. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Bob, Rangers and Astros top of the third, and after a Jed Lowry error kept the inning alive. Runners aboard for David Murphy. What happens when two center fielders are out there? Justin Maxwell, the former Nat, and Maryland native. He and Jordan Schaefer both make a play, or try to, and it turns into an inside-the-park three-run home run. Schaefer was injured on the play and removed. Guys, if you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Bob and Bill, back to you guys.
Thank you, Matt. That's a ballpark where if the ball gets away in center field and gets anywhere near Towles Hill, inside the Parker, and of course the Astros and Rangers will be division mates in the AL West next year. I know some Rangers have to be looking forward to hitting there. Lombardozzi grabs that one from the bat of Xavier Avery. Another look back, Bill, at that outstanding Ryan Zimmerman play.
Now, they call this the hot corner for a reason, because you're close to home plate and boys hit rockets at you. But the thing I love about Ryan Zimmerman is he doesn't over boogie. He understands what the ball was hit, where it was hit, and he doesn't over boogie when he's over there. He really has a calm about him, but he has really good reflexes.
Zimmerman played alongside Mark Reynolds at the University of Virginia on the left side of their infield.
Think they hit some homers together?
I do believe they did with those aluminum bats, you think?
Or wooden bats, or plastic bats. They can hit homers.
Here's Hamill. Swinging away with 2 outs and the bases empty. He sacrificed well first time up. Hamill is a big league hitter, 20 hits and 159 ABs. 23rd sacrifice of the year earlier tonight. And a wild swing, and Detweiler gets the quick inning against the bottom of the order he was looking for. 4-0 Baltimore, mid-4th. Hamill, good job of working him inside, then away to strike him out swinging. Washington without a hit. Bottom of the 4th inning, first pitch hacking. And that's only the second first pitch strike thrown by Hamill as he opens up his 4th inning of work. So at least for him, first pitch strike's very overrated tonight.
It seems tonight it is, but let's not get carried away with that, because first pitch strikes are important.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike on a heater upstairs. He'll back off the rubber for a moment. Harper, Zimmerman, and LaRoche. 2-3-4 for Washington, bottom of the fourth. Nationals played in a game earlier this week when James McDonald of Pittsburgh did not allow them a hit in this ballpark until the sixth inning. They have been a slow out of the gate early game offensive club this year.
Yeah, they're definitely in a little bit of a funk because there's better hitters than what they're showing right now.
And they are missing Michael Morse and Jason Worth.
Sure.
Worth not back until August 1st. Michael Morse maybe in the next 2 weeks. Harper stays alive and hits it back to the screen. Their closer, Drew Storn, who hasn't thrown a pitch this year, expected back by the All-Star break. Wilson Ramos, the catcher, out for the year. I mean, it is a mash unit over on that first base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harper backs away. He's got a good batting eye. We saw that from the first time he was called up in L.A. about 3 weeks ago. A young pitcher with a knowledge of the strike zone that appears to be very solid.
He looks like he has a good idea overall at home plate.
Can't get that one, and he strikes out swinging for the second time. 4th strikeout by Jason Hamill.
He's been pitched to twice. You know, it looks like he's got him guessing a little bit. And let's face it, he's exceeded everywhere he's been. And he's probably been in those locations earlier than he needs to be. And in this situation, he's 19 in the big leagues. He's running up against the best there is. There is no higher league than this.
Ryan Zimmerman takes a breaking ball, low and away. That breaker catches the knees of the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hamill's doing a great job pitching right now. 4-0 lead. He falls behind with a breaking ball. He still has enough confidence to come back into it. And maybe because he has that 4-run lead. He's got a little bit of room to play with, but is certainly pitching with some confidence.
Target in. Zimmerman takes that fastball up the middle, and Washington has its first base hit. Ryan Zimmerman missed 2 weeks because of a bad shoulder. He's been back for a couple of weeks now, but Jason Worth breaking his wrist in the Sunday night game against the Phillies. August 1st for him. 2 weeks for Michael Morse, who has a lat problem, upper back. Drew Storn did not need Tommy John. Wilson Ramos ACL last week, and Brad Lidge out until June with a sports hernia. And of course, Wilson Ramos backup Sandy Leon hurt at home plate collision on the first day he was called up for his major league debut. It has been crazy. And they have a AAA catcher, Jonathan Solano, who's also injured, but he's due back in the next few days at Syracuse.
And not every team in the league can just go ahead and forfeit a couple all-star type players, if not all-stars, that are injured and out of service for you.
Yeah, Michael Morse last year had a career year when he hit 31 homers and drove in 95, batting over 300 for Davey Johnson. Adam LaRoche flied out to center, first time up, 1 on 1 out, bottom of the fourth. That tapper foul.
Got the full shift on board again for LaRoche when a man on first base. And this is where it gets tricky when you're looking at a full shift with runners on base, because now you're going to ask possibly the third baseman if that was a normal third baseman. All right, Tollison's not necessarily that, but now he might have to pretend to be the shortstop coming over. What happens if it's hit to J.J. Hardy's left? He's got to be more like the second baseman. So when there's runners on base and you're doing the full shift, you get a couple people out of position.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Adam LaRoche, and maybe he doesn't do it here, but several times this season already, he's taken ground balls and a few low liners right through the third base side for base hits and doubles. One of the reasons he's hitting well against left-handers this year.
Well, you have a tendency to stay on the ball a little bit more because you get a little bit more stubborn. We saw Nick Markakis' earlier at bat, his first at bat of the game, where he hit a ball to Zimmerman's left, who made a good play on it. Same thing.
Fastball up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But with all the intel that's out there and people trying to use all the information that's available to you, this is the one area. I'm okay with some shifts, but when there's runners on base, the hitter becomes a little bit different to me.
2-2, and LaRoche will pop it up to center just like he did first time. Adam Jones looking into the twilight. It's that time of the evening at 8:22 local, but he spotted it and made the catch. Next Saturday, baseball night in America. The Phillies will be in St. Louis battling the Central leading Cardinals, while the Rays and Red Sox renew their rivalry at Fenway. Or you get Rockies Reds, Cubs Pirates, or Angels Mariners. Baseball night in America presented by Chevrolet begins next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. There's your twilight as we approach 8:30 local time here. Next up is Ian Desmond, the power-hitting shortstop who struck out swinging first time up.
And going back to the twilight, the secret there is when you track the baseball, don't ever take your eyes off of it. If the balls go in the gap here and you see an outfielder run to a spot, try to look back up and find it. It's almost impossible then. So the idea now in twilight is once the ball's hit, don't take your eyes off of it.
Desmond, two-hopper, right side, Robert Andino. And the Nationals have been shut out by the Orioles for 4 innings. Gio Gonzalez, Washington's new left-handed starter, joins us when we come back. Welcome back to Baseball Night in America. Washington, D.C., Nationals Park. Top of the order for the Orioles in the top of the 5th inning. The Washington Nationals have 2 left-handers in their starting rotation. Ross Detweiler is operating tonight, and that's a bunt missed by Robert Andino. Robert Andino leads off here, followed by J.J. Hardy and Nick Markakis. And the other lefty is the number 2 starter right behind Steven Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez. Welcome, sir.
How you guys doing?
Doing well. And this is your left-handed counterpart on the mound in your rotation. Talk about the 5 arms, yours included, that the Nats have been throwing out there for the rotation so far this year, and what's made you guys successful?
I think it's a great chemistry we got going so far. You know, each one of us have individual personalities and the way we go about our stuff, but once we get together, we go over the hitters, we study stuff. we're constantly like picking up little things that we can pick up and try to get better.
Gio, when you're talking about getting better as a unit, is it only the left-hander you can watch? Can you look at Strasburg throw and talk with him and pick some things up to help you as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I love watching Strauss pitch. You know, he keeps the ball down. He attacks the hitters. He changes it up. You know, it's fun watching him go out there and try to go out there and pound the strike zone. You know, not only him, you got, you know, Jordan Zimmerman, you got Edwin Jackson, and then you also got Ross Detweiler that do the same thing.
That was quite an effort by Rick Ankiel on that drive by Robert Andino. Another extra base hit for the Orioles, and the leadoff man's aboard here in the 5th inning. And the next man will be J.J. Hardy, who's already 2 for 2. Gio, you're not pitching in this series. You're pitching in Philadelphia Monday night. But I'm sure you guys have heard all about this Baltimore team and some of the fence busting they've been doing this year. What was the conversation on the staff about this club coming into this series?
You know, you got to respect that organization. You know, they do a great job. These guys go out there, swing the bat. You know, very powerhouse team. You know,
and that'll hang up for Bernardina for the first out.
You know, it's fun watching them go out there and compete. You know, I had to face these guys a lot in the American League, and now being in the National League, see them again. It's like how my dad says, you never get rid of them. They're always going to be there.
Hey, Gio, we were talking to you a little bit, and Detweiler's throwing the ball. It looks like he's attacking the hitters, but you said it looks like he's just getting the ball up a little bit. I just saw a rip of your 10 punch-out outing. I mean, you elevated the fastball all day in that one. Can we have it both ways? Where's that fine line of being up and then being up enough where you can strike some people out?
I think it's trying to get it up there as high as possible. You know, you don't want to go too high, you don't want to go too low. There's somewhere there in that swing of theirs that you could try to get it up on them. But, you know, a lot of their bat speed is unbelievable. These guys have quick hand speed. You know, just one of those lucky things that you get up on them, you can probably get them. But most of the time, these guys put some good wood on it. So it's how I call it. I just got the lucky end of that stick.
Gio Gonzalez, 15-9 2 years ago for Oakland, 16-12 last year for a ball club that hasn't done a whole lot of winning. And then you got traded over here in a pretty big deal. The Nationals traded a bunch of prospects to get you over here. What's your reaction to your exposure so far in the National League every time out?
It's unbelievable. You know, the fan base this year is incredible. You know, opening night was 40,000. I've never seen that before. And the only times I have was against the opponents in their house. You know, Oakland tried their best at packing in the house, but it only packed up when we played the Giants.
Well, Gio, talking about that coming over from Oakland in the American League, take me back to your first knock in the big leagues because you didn't get the chance to do it in Oakland.
It was opening day.
That ball is well hit by Markakis. And the Orioles are pounding Ross Detweiler and the Nationals. It is 6-0 Baltimore. Nick Markakis has homered in each game of this series. His 8th of the year, RBIs number 21 and 22.
Now you guys know how I felt when I had to pitch in the American League.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough, man. These great hitters, man. Both leagues have great hitters. This is incredible. You know, Ross is a great pitcher, and to see him leaving the ball up like this, it hurts a little bit.
Baltimore fans are supercharged in this ballpark now. Adam Jones is 2 for 2 with a base hit and a 2-run homer himself. And the Orioles, out of their first 4 hitters, 7 hits and all 6 runs batted in tonight. Coming into that at bat, Markakis was the only one without a hit, and he took care of that. 1 ball to 1 strike. Well, Gio, American League to National League, what differences for a pitcher other than you're not pitching to a DH? Anything as far as the strike zone, the ballparks? What's the difference so far for you?
Not really. I mean, same kind of hitters. They're aggressive hitters. They go out there swinging the bat. You know, a power hitter is going to do his thing and be a power hitter. A contact hitter is going to go out there and try to put the ball in place and get these guys up to bat. You know, you have to pitch these guys the same way you're going to pitch them in any league. You know, you got to go up there and be aggressive and constantly pound that strike zone. we need Ross to go out there and continue to keep pitching, try to get us all the way to the 8th. You know, at least keep us, minimize the damage right now.
2 balls and 1 strike, and that's low and away to Adam Jones. Hey, finally, Gio, in terms of this rotation, the bullpen, you guys have had a lot of pressure on you because the ball club hasn't been scoring runs. How tough is it to go out there night after night when you may only get 1, 2, at times 3 runs of support?
Our job is to definitely keep our team in the game as much as possible. You know, the bullpen does a great job by always going in behind us and stopping the bleeding. You know, but we try not to worry about the run support. We try not to worry about that. Our main concern is keeping our team as long as possible in the game. You know, they're going to come through. They're going to bring in some runs. Might not happen in the first couple innings, but they'll definitely look alive and they'll go out there and swing. You know, they try their best and they go out there and they swing every day. So hopefully you'll see some changes now and see some of the swings come through.
Hey, Gio, thanks for your time. All the best this year. Good luck in Philadelphia Monday night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Gio Gonzalez. Like Ross Detweiler, 26-year-old left-hander. Baltimore, 6 runs on 9 hits already. Matt Wieters 0 for 2.
That's awesome that Gio stayed with us right there. You can tell as a part of that starting staff when things were starting to go bad for Detweiler. He was feeling it. That can't be the easiest thing to do, and really appreciate his time. But you know what? That is a tight-knit group. When you have a rotation that as young as these guys are and as special a talent as these guys are, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch for years to come.
Well, that's the foundation they wanted to build here. Mike Rizzo drafting pitchers. Of course, Harper, you couldn't pass up on him 2 years ago, overall #1 pick. So they had the worst record in baseball 2 consecutive years and got him 2 #1 overall picks. Strasburg followed by Harper.
And I don't think that they've missed on those first 2 picks either you talk about. You know, a lot of teams finish in last place. What do you do with those picks? And this group of guys that I was talking about, Edwin Jackson coming over has been a great surprise as well. Not necessarily one of the young guys that we're talking about, but this group right here, if you can hold on to something like that, that's pretty special.
Well, Davey Johnson has a decision to make sometime over the next week or so, because Chin-Ming Wong, the veteran right-hander who throws the sinker, won 19 games 2 years ago for the Yankees before he got hurt, and that's Craig Stammen in the bullpen for Washington. He will be coming off rehab, Wong will, and there might be a #5 starter decision to be made. Detweiler fell down as he planted after that pitch, and it was fouled off by Matt Wieters, who was way out ahead. Chin-Ming Wong, most people around here really don't picture him in the bullpen because he's a career starter who takes a long time to get ready.
I think a lot of things going wrong right now. Detweiler's timing's a little bit off. I think some of the things have gotten to him a little bit. He's still competing. He's not giving in.
26 pitches in the first inning. Just 9 in the second when he gave up 2 runs. 13 more in the third when he gave up 2 more runs. So the Orioles have been on the attack early in the count tonight.
Well, and that's a result of them understanding who they're facing. A guy who likes to throw fastballs, likes to throw strikes.
And that's a breaking ball popped up into left center. Skies have darkened considerably. Easy to see the baseball now. That's 2 outs. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Bob, Boston and Philly. Freddie Galvis hit 18 home runs in almost 2,000 minor league at-bats, but he's gone deep on back-to-back nights against the Red Sox, and this one's tightened up 5-4 Boston. Back to you guys on the Beltway.
Yeah, and with Carlos Ruiz hitting well, Philly's getting some help from unexpected sources. They've won 6 in a row. And with the Phillies now 21-19, all 5 teams in the National League East are above the 500 mark.
And it seemed like they got a little bit of fire when Ruben Amaro started talking about if we're not better off at the July trading deadline, there might be a little bit of a fire sale going on. Seemed like that got some boys' attention.
Broken bat, Zimmerman. He'll go the short way to Lombardozzi. And the Orioles have scored 2 runs in 3 of the last 4 innings. A blast by Nick Markakis, and now Baltimore leads 6-0. Fox Saturday Baseball is sponsored by Ford. Go further. Breezy, beautiful Saturday evening in Washington, D.C. Scoreboard not looking very good for the home team. Rick Ankiel leads off, bottom 5. 1 hit, 1 walk through 4 for Jason Hamill on 62 pitches, 35 strikes. Hasn't thrown that many first pitch strikes. Struck out Ankiel looking for the 3rd out back in the 2nd. Ball 2.
And we've talked a lot, you know, in baseball in general about first pitch strike and how important it is. But I tell you what, if Hamill's not throwing first pitch strikes, it also gives you an indication of how good his stuff is when he is in the strike zone.
Ankiel with that one flirting, left field foul pole, and it goes hook, rather slicing foul, and that's 2-1. Ankiel, a couple of home runs on the year. Tony La Russa was here about 3 weeks ago, and he has a theory on what happened to Rick Ankiel losing his control. His catcher was Mike Matheny, now the Cardinal manager. Matheny guided him through his rookie season when he won 11 games. That's a hot shot handled by Wilson Betemit. And then Matheny cut his hand on a hunting knife, which was a birthday present, right at the end of the regular season, had to miss the playoffs. And Ankiel, who threw a lot of fastballs up and in to right-handed and left-handed batters, suddenly had Carlos Hernandez behind the plate. And La Russa's theory is that Hernandez did not handle that pitch the same way Matheny did. Some of them went back to the screen, and Bill, it was kind of like a house of cards from there. It started rolling downhill, and Rick Ankiel couldn't stop it.
That's interesting, and we do see pitchers around the league from time to time have their own personal valet catcher. We've seen that over the years. It would be interesting to me to have a guy that young, though, form that type of a bond with one guy.
Carlos Maldonado hit the ball hard to third first time up, and Steve Tollefson threw him out. That was that ball right down the line, and Tollefson launched a long on-target throw to first for the first out in the 3rd inning.
You know, in that play, in his first at bat too, what Tollefson did really well was got to it number 1, but then he understood who was running down the line. No disrespect, but it was a catcher and he knew it. He set himself and made a strong throw across the diamond. Look at this right here, how he certainly took his time We're going to see that one more time, Bob. And watch when he gets to it, one thing, but now watch this. Set yourself, strong throw across the diamond, got him with ease.
Yeah, sometimes you have to make an outfielder's throw from that side. 2-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss on a big breaking ball. And that's 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Meanwhile, Ross Detweiler, rough outing in 5 innings, 6 runs on 9 hits. If the inning continues beyond Bernardino, the Nationals will hit for him with rookie Tyler Moore. And that's the most runs given up by a National starter since last September by John Lannon against Houston. Lannon has been pitching at AAA this year. He lost his job in the rotation in spring training just because of Gonzalez and Jackson coming in and how well all 5 of those guys were pitching.
And I'm going to look at this that the Orioles are doing something really good, and I'm not looking at Detweiler doing something wrong in this game. Every now and then you're going to have one of these days. You're going to run up against a team that can swing the bats like this. I love the way Detweiler attacked the strike zone, threw his fastball. I'll take my chances with his stuff any day.
1 ball and 1 strike to Bernardino, who walked his first time. Yeah, don't shortchange the Orioles. And that will get up the middle. Bernardino's aboard for the second time, and that'll get Tyler Moore to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. Visit MLB.com/fanguide. Register for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 to a 2012 World Series game presented by Scotts, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. Bernardino, great speed, but down by 6. He's not going to be doing much. Tyler Moore was called up April 29th at Los Angeles, and he was lost in the shuffle because Bryce Harper had been called up the day before. They got their first major league hits in the same game at Dodger Stadium. And this kid's a slugger.
One was much bigger news, wasn't it?
It sure was. Tell you, this guy, 31 homers 2 years ago at Single-A Potomac, 31 last year at Double-A Harrisburg, and he hit 7 this year at Triple-A Syracuse in 22 games with 20 RBIs when they called him up. He's had a hard time getting at bats, though, and that is a swing, no balls, 2 strikes.
That's one play right there, Bob. I'd love to see it be mandated. You have to ask your first base umpire for right-hand swings. If you're the home plate umpire, your job is to watch the pitch. Can you watch the pitch and the bat at the same time? Especially with the lights, a black bat, there's a blur. Even if he swung, that's not the point to me. I think that should be mandated. We go to the off umpire, ask for help every single time.
Good call. Agreed.
The first base umpire in that situation, once Hamill picks his foot up and throws to home plate, is to watch the play develop. And if the catcher's catching the ball and moving, and the home plate umpire is watching the strike zone, that leaves one guy to make that call.
And there's Tyler Moore with a solid base hit to right field. That's his 3rd major league hit in 15 at-bats. And for the first time tonight, Washington puts hits together. Top of the order now with Lombardozzi coming up. 13-year veteran Andy Fletcher has the plate tonight. Rob Drake at first, crew chief Joe West in his 35th year at second base, and Sam Holbrook, who had the plate last night, is at third. There's Joe West, 35 years. Top of the order, Lombardozzi, 2 ground balls. And there's a base hit to right field. Bernardino has great speed. Markakis launches the throw. He is safe at the plate, and Washington's on the scoreboard.
That's one of those instances right there where you're scuffling, scoring runs, you're losing 6-0, and you're going to take a chance as the third base coach to send the runner home. It is a good thing that Roger Bernardino has good speed. Nick Markakis is probably the best overall throwing outfielder that the Orioles have, with the arm strength and accuracy. And right here, he throws a strike to home plate. But Bernardino is so fast, he scores that run.
Yeah, everybody did everything right on that play. Bernardina, probably the fastest man on the Washington Ball Club. And here's Bryce Harper now, who has struck out twice, but he's seen Hamill for a whole bunch of pitches here.
And this won't happen too often when Bryce Harper's at home plate, how I talk about Lombardozzi, who just got the hit in front of him. Usually Bryce takes it all, but I tell you what, Davey Johnson talked about inserting him in the lineup. He's the type of guy that'll do whatever it takes to win a ball game for you. He's a baseball player. That's a big knock for the Nats.
Lombardozzi's hitting .320 as a rookie, and Harper goes right side. Betemit with a good play to the pitcher, and that will snuff out the 5th inning rally. 3 consecutive singles. Washington on the board. It's 6-1 Baltimore. TV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Jaguar, see the new model year lineup at your local Jaguar retailer. The Jefferson Memorial on a Saturday evening in mid-May. It's all Baltimore right now, though Washington did get on the board, finally getting some hits against Jason Hamill. The only thing working against Hamill, his pitch count, 81 pitches through 5 innings. But Jones, Markakis, all those guys, Bill, you talked about in the open, getting it done tonight.
Well, I'd like to say I know what I'm talking about, so that's why I just said that.
That's our game summary brought to you by Jeep. Steve Tollison leads off. Craig Stammen into the game for Washington. He's been a setup reliever. He's been a long reliever. And this young man from Central Ohio, 16th ball game and a 1.64 ERA. 23 strikeouts in 22 innings. And he's been doing it with that slider that has been mostly unhittable this year.
There's just a lot of weapons that the Nationals have. Starters, good. Bullpen, good. And they're doing some things without some key people. Secret of a good slider right there, make it look like a fastball out of your hand, go out of the strike zone, low and away from a right-hand hitter.
Maldonado will slide over there as he threw one well off the plate to Tollison. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice tonight for Steve Tollison, the third baseman. That's another breaking ball outside. Steve Tollison, 28 years of age, from Spartanburg, South Carolina. He was an all-SEC guy as a Gamecock, and his dad Wayne played parts of 10 years in the big leagues. Called up just this past Wednesday after hitting 265 in 26 games at Norfolk. Stammen fires a fastball that catches him looking. Next Sunday, NASCAR on Fox will be in Charlotte. Defending champion Kevin Harvick and points leader Greg Biffle lead the world's best drivers in a chase for the checkered flag. Fox Sports, proud to bring you exclusive coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing with the Coca-Cola 600 Live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's next Sunday, 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. Xavier Avery is next. He drills a base hit to left center. Bernardina cannot cut it off, and watch this guy run. Roger Bernardina gets to it in a hurry to hold him to a double. I would imagine, Bill, he's thinking 3 every time he hits a gap.
I think anytime that ball goes in the gap, he's going to be looking at that. That's a fastball out over the plate, stayed with it, hit a missile to left center. He's thinking 3 right there. What's going to stop him is Bernardina's going to stop him. If Bernardina didn't get back there in a timely fashion, he was thinking 3 the whole way. So that's a good job out of the batter's box, thinking 3 the whole way, stopping at second when he can't get it.
Man, how about this guy? 8 for 27 in his first 7 major league games, and he's also walked 4 times. Avery has been all over the bases. Robert Andino is on deck, and Jason Hamill, the hitter, 0 for 1 with a sack. And the Orioles now have pounded out double-digit hits. There's that Stammen breaking ball. Interesting pitcher. Mostly a starter in 09 and 2010 for the Nationals with mixed results. And now that he's out of the bullpen, he's been nails.
I wonder why Buck's getting him the opportunity to swing the bat here. I mean, to me, this screams for another sac bunt by a pitcher. I know there's a man on second already in scoring position. But moving a man up to third base, there's several different ways to score a run from third base than there is second.
Good point, because of that slider, too.
Yeah, and Hamill waves at a few pitches and goes back to the dugout.
Yeah, Stammen's been known to bury that slider to right-handed batters in the dirt. 2 outs now, top of the 6th, Robert Andino, and he's had a good night. A 2-run single, a double, a run scored.
He's really played well. He's been consistent at second base for the Birds, making the plays he's supposed to make, turned some double plays at some key times. Been a nice asset for this club.
Well, you've played on some good ball clubs. Isn't it guys like this who usually have career years when a team has some kind of a special season?
Well, I think things have to line up to a degree. I played on some bad ball clubs too. Played on the worst one probably in history in '88, and the next year we're down to the wire with the Toronto Blue Jays in '89. And a lot of guys stepped up and they did some things that they had to do. Everybody pitched in every single night. I know that's somewhat clichéic, but there's a lot of similarities when you look at this club. They haven't been a 500 club for a long, long time. And for this year, for things to be happening in this manner, a lot of guys are having somewhat of that career year.
Last time the Orioles had a winning season was in '97 when they went 98-64. That was also their last postseason. They beat Seattle in the division series and then lost a hard-fought LCS to the Indians in 6. And that's a ball club managed by Davey Johnson back then.
Wasn't managed by Buck Showalter. Managed by Davey Johnson.
That's right.
There he is.
American League Manager of the Year that year, and he resigned, which is a whole nother story. But,
for a different night.
When you and I visited with him today, he was frustrated about a couple of things. He wants to beat the Orioles.
No doubt.
He thought his hitters were taking way too many fastballs.
Tell you what, Davey Johnson, I played for him in '96. I wasn't there in '97. We were a wild card team in '96. They went coast to coast, or start to finish in '97. They won the division that year. But Davey's intense. He likes to compete. He liked to compete as a player. You definitely knew that. And he certainly played on some really good Oriole teams in his day.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Robert Andino. Baltimore trying to get back that run. Washington just scored. Swing and a miss on that big breaker. And Craig Stammen strikes out the side. Did Washington grab some momentum? We'll find out in a moment. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, that's a bat you got to have in the lineup when you're the Red Sox on the road. Last night, the American League went 9-5 to start Interleague this year. And here's Jason Hamill against Ryan Zimmerman, bottom of the 6th. 3, 4, and 5 for Washington. They're coming off a 1-run, 3-hit inning. And we'll see if maybe they figured a thing or two out against a guy they faced numerous times as a Colorado Rocky. Hamill 10-10-7 wins in 3 years with Colorado after his days at Tampa Bay. Fastball up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hamill's still throwing it good at 93. Starting to get a few pitches under his belt. We'll see what happens with that. Certainly had an opportunity if you wanted to get him out last inning, but I don't think there's any need for that in this situation.
Zimmerman 1 for 2 tonight with a fly ball to center and a base hit up the middle. When he is going his best, he is hitting the ball up the middle and to right center.
I think that holds true for most players, though, Bob. When somebody's as big as strong as Ryan Zimmerman is, and that's a good example right there. Your approach should be the big part of the field because they can do damage in all parts of the field anyway.
That'll be a double down the right field line. Zimmerman a 2 for 3 night. And for Ryan Zimmerman, his 6th double of the year, his 7th extra base hit. That is some kind of stick right there. Great swing. And here's Adam LaRoche, who has popped out to center twice.
Now Buck and the Birds have shifted LaRoche the first 2 times up, the full over boogie shift. And now with a man on second, be interesting to see what happens. J.J. Hardy's walking over behind again. That's similar, but as you notice, the third baseman can't leave because then Zim could just walk in there. So this creates that huge hole where LaRoche doesn't have to push the ball down the third base line. If he stays on and hits a missile straightaway short, that's a knock and should be a ribby.
One of the reasons the Orioles held the Nationals down last night, Adam LaRoche was 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, and he hasn't had many offers this year. 1 for 8 career against Hamill with a home run, 3 RBIs. That'll even the count, 1-1.
Breaking ball and a fastball count. In this situation, you as a hitter in this score and the game situation, he's probably ready to pin his ears back on a fastball. 1-0 breaking ball for a strike. Good pitch.
Good cover by Matt Wieters, ball 2.
I think Matt Wieters is becoming, if not the best catcher in the American League. You look how big he is back there. He throws extremely well. We know he's a switch hitter that can hit, but he blocks the ball in the dirt as well as anybody.
LaRoche stopping his swing. Sam Holbrook says he did not go around, ball 3.
And there's the appeal process. So why do we determine one time we can do the appeal and one time we don't? Yeah. Once again, I go back to this. If you're a left-hand hitter, this should be mandated to me. Home plate umpire checks third base umpire.
3-1 to a good hitter. But Hamill is working with a 5-run lead. Does he challenge here? He misses with the fastball. 2 on, nobody out. And now Washington has seen 5 of the last 6 hitters get on base. Second walk of the night. And the bullpen phone is ringing.
And it's being picked up and answered. If it's ringing, it's one thing. Doesn't mean anything. Somebody picked it up. Got the usual stroll out to the mound. Conversation. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy a little time. Got to get somebody ready. How you feeling? Let's see if we can't get 2 outs for the price of 1. Throw me a 2-seamer down in the zone and see what happens.
So Rick Adair, the pitching coach, they break up that conference. And for Washington, Ian Desmond in a righty-righty matchup here. He is 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground ball. But along with Adam LaRoche has been Washington's hottest hitter. Davey Johnson needed somebody in the number 5 spot to drive in some runs. And here's his former leadoff man with 2 men aboard. First pitch swinging. Routine fly ball center field. Zimmerman will not be challenging Adam Jones, 1 out.
What I liked about that, too, when you see J.J. Hardy walking the ball in, how deep J.J. Hardy got towards third base. Adam Jones, he wasn't giving Adam Jones a chance to airmail him. He says, I'm going to dictate what happens here. You're going to keep this ball in front of me. I'll see to it. That's just a good, sound baseball play right there by J.J. Hardy. Remove all doubt. Yes, I know it's a 6-1 game. Look at J.J. Hardy backing in. One hopper is totally legal in that situation to the cut man. And J.J. wanted to make sure you're not throwing this thing over my head. These runners aren't doing anything. I'm going to control this.
Here's Rick Ankiel, ball 1. Well, you made a good observation when we were talking about Bryce Harper this afternoon, that at times Adam LaRoche could do the same thing for Washington on throws from right field, because Harper's been known to launch a few.
And I think he's established the fact early in his career he's got a good arm, meaning Bryce Harper, and he loves trying to throw people out. So what you have to do when you're in that position to be the cut guy, you're going to have to manipulate the situation where he can't overthrow you. Sometimes he's 19 years old. He hasn't played that many games in the outfield. You've played more in the infield. You dictate what he does.
Ankiel hits one well. Left center. That ball is going to hit at the base of the wall. Zimmerman scores. LaRoche to third. Ankiel is safe. And Robert Andino thought he tagged him out. It's a 6-2 ball game. And here comes Buck Showalter.
A lot of things happened on that play, Bob. Number 1, Ankiel hit an absolute missile to left center field. 2, Adam Jones plays the carom perfectly, throws a strike to second base. Ankiel hustling all the way into second for a double. I thought when he came off the bag, Andino didn't stay with the tag. I think he thought he got him to begin with. Let's take a closer look at that. No, I thought he was safe both ways. Ankiel coming in. Andino with the swipe tag around. I think Ankiel's in. And if Andino would have stayed with it a little bit longer, Ankiel would have been out because he's gone right there.
Yeah. Second and third, one out now. And Buck Showalter to the mound, and he's going to get the baseball from Jason Hamill. Washington making lots of offensive noise now here early in the 6th inning. And I just wonder if that pitch count got him. 81 pitches through 5 innings. Double, walk, fly ball, double in this inning. He's responsible for up to 4 runs. And Buck Showalter now will go with Luis Ayala, who used to be somewhat of a star here in D.C. He was Chad Cordero's setup man when the Nationals first got here in 05. He was the 8th inning guy with that very good sinker of his.
The Baltimore's bullpen, we talked about their young starters doing well. They're coming in with a lot of weapons. Every one of them throwing the ball pretty well right now.
Carlos Maldonado will take a nasty sinker right under his hands for a strike. I mean, if he locates that there is nothing a hitter can do.
Well, you can hit it off your foot, you can pull it foul, or you break your bat. Those are the 3 options you have when they're throwing it that good.
No balls, 1 strike. Maldonado 0 for 2 tonight. Check swing.
Ouch. That's one of the options right there.
There you go. Luis Ayala throwing the ball about as well as he ever has in his career. 17 appearances in 20 innings, 12 strikeouts, and an ERA of 1.77.
And there's guys out there throwing 90 miles an hour with that much movement that really does feel like a bowling ball when you get jammed. There's other guys throwing 96, 97. It's a ping pong ball coming in there. It may jam you, but it doesn't hurt. There's something about this sink and this action on the ball that really lets the hitter know it hurts.
No balls, 2 strikes to Maldonado. He'll take it low. Look at that ERA, 2.07, best in baseball. And Jim Johnson has been lights out as the closer. 14 saves this year, 22 straight, going back to 2011.
Could Jim Johnson be the best closer in baseball right now?
I've heard that said today.
I believe he could be.
Pedro Strop, with Johnson unavailable, got his third save here last night. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Maldonado hits one up the middle. That'll be an RBI. Well played by J.J. Hardy. And Rick Ankiel stayed at second base with the ball that was seemingly going to be hit behind him.
Yeah, and that's a tough read right there for Ankiel, because if he knows exactly where Hardy is, he can probably advance on this one. He goes back to the base and just got caught. But also, game situation also dictates how many chances you want to take. Is it worth the risk if he's going to try to go over to third, and if J.J. Hardy picks him off, that's not a good thing either. And
he's in scoring position for Roger Bernardina, who's had 2 good at-bats tonight. So a 6-3 ball game. Bernardina has walked, singled, and scored, and a hit here makes things very interesting. And Davey Johnson likes to hold his best pinch hitter until late in the game, but he might consider this pretty late. So his best pinch hitter, Chad Tracy, is waiting if Bernardina gets aboard here. Off-speed pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And going back to that Rick Ankiel thing, I believe it was 100% the right decision when you look at it. It's 2 outs. The run's going to score. You figure with 2 outs, he's going to be off at the crack of the bat. He's going to score anyway. So it's definitely better to be safe there than get thrown out at third base.
Ball 2. Washington has all 6 of its hits now in the last 3 innings. 3 singles, a run last inning. 2 doubles are on a walk and a ground ball for 2 runs this inning. Pitcher steps off, hitter steps out. Bernardina, base hit up the middle, and because Rick Ankiel stayed at second base, he will easily score, and suddenly this is a 6-4 ball game.
Bernardina certainly making some good use of opportunities to play, swinging the bats extremely well right now. That's a solid at bat right there. Understood what he needed to do.
And tonight, Baltimore, most of its production from the top of the order. Nationals now getting base hits and runners at the bottom. So here comes Chad Tracy, who's been outstanding as a pinch hitter. 5 for 15 with a homer and 8 RBIs. And how about this? He represents the tying run suddenly.
I think that's why Ayala's super sinker to a left-hander. It looked like he really tried to get that in on Roger, and it came back over to enough part of the plate where he got the barrel of the bat to it and got it in the center.
Tracy goes deep right center field, and that'll be caught by Adam Jones. Anxious moment for the Orioles. Washington battling back will return to Nationals Park after a word from your local Fox station. Night in America, presented by Chevrolet. For nearly 6 innings, it was all Baltimore, and now here in our nation's capital, it is game on. Washington a run in the 5th, 3 more in the 6th, and now it's up to the bullpens the rest of the way, and they'll be waiting till August 1st for their number 5 or 6 hitter who plays right field here, Jason Worth. Washington will deploy its 3rd pitcher of the night. As we mentioned, a lot of red in the ballpark, a lot of orange in the ballpark. This place was like a college bowl game last night. Each half of the stadium trying to shout down the other.
You know, you can't wear red and orange together, but when you look at this stadium and you see the red and the orange mixed in, it doesn't look bad.
Well, there's a lot of people in these parts that have been waiting for something like this for a long, long time. After the second version of the Senators left for Texas in 1972 to become the Rangers, 33 years was the wait before the Expos moved here to become the Nationals. J.J. Hardy leads off against Ryan Perry, who spent the last 3 years in the Detroit bullpen. Came over in a deal for right-hander Colin Ballister last December. Perry's had a couple of rough outings, and when a reliever gives up a lot of runs early in the season, the ERA can be over 20, and now it's at 15.43, and it takes all year to get it down.
Yeah, and that is a tough thing. What you have to do if you're one of those guys that that has happened to you, you can't look at the scoreboard any. You can't look at the stat pages. You got to go inning by inning from here on out.
J.J. Hardy takes one outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Opponent's hitting .455 against Ryan Perry. 10 hits in 4 2/3. But there was one night he just had to pitch in a blowout game, and some nights relievers have to take one for the squad. Ball game's over. And Davey Johnson is one of the masters at how to handle his bullpen when he's behind, so that it doesn't hurt his bullpen for the next 2 or 3 days after that.
Right, and sometimes you are the sacrificial lamb, and how your personality deals with that is a strong thing. And it's probably things that the manager knows about the guy too, because there's some guys in baseball that you cannot make the sacrificial lamb because you know it'll destroy them, but there's other guys that understand the concept of what's going on. Yeah, you might have to take one tonight so we can win the next 3.
Yeah. And middle relievers, as a rule, are the unsung heroes of any bullpen. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's a flare to right center. Harper holds off Ankiel and makes the grab. First out, top of the 7th. Chevrolet building the next generation of baseball memories. Here's our own Ken Rosenthal to tell you more.
As the official vehicle of Major League Baseball, Chevrolet is proud to be building the next generation of memories. Join Chevy as they rebuild youth baseball fields across the country. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to enter for a chance for your community to win a youth field makeover.
Well, trying to keep this great game alive in our cities in America, the Washington Nationals Dream Foundation has broken ground on several fields around here and a baseball academy, which will be opening this year. Nick Markakis for the Orioles. A couple of fielder's choice ground balls, and then that 2-run bomb 2 innings ago over the scoreboard in right field gave Baltimore at that time a 6-0 lead.
And how about that? The guy who just hit a missile in the right center field bleachers going to go ahead and try to push bunt, to get on base right there.
This ball had some kind of backspin on it, Bill.
I tell you what, that was hit. That's down and in once again in that happy zone for the left-hand hitters. That's 2 nights in a row. You throwing him there, he hasn't missed it.
Looked like the game might become a blowout, and now it's a 2-run game just a couple of innings later. Perry throws a strike. This is another Washington pitcher that goes low to mid-90s.
He really did a nice job coming back when J.J. Hardy, 3-1 pitch. J.J. pulled foul. He made a good pitch on the 3-2 to get him out. Now he's ahead quickly. And Markakis 1-2.
And he dumps one down in the dirt to get the strikeout.
Now he's 1-3 on Markakis. That quick.
2 outs now. Bases empty. Adam Jones 3 for 3 tonight with a homer and 2 RBIs. So in this series, he is 5 out of 8 with 3 runs batted in.
This guy's pretty good. Just thought I'd throw that out there if you haven't noticed.
Well, last weekend, Washington ran into Joey Votto in Cincinnati, who hit 3 homers in one game, including a walk-off grand slam. Then they ran into Andrew McCutchen here for 2 nights of the Pirates, who might be the best young player in the game that some people don't know about. And now they run into Adam Jones.
Three pretty good players right there that are just seemingly having their way with a really good pitching staff. I mean, let's not forget about that. I know these guys are doing some things, but those 3 guys are doing it against guys that can pitch flat out.
1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, it's rare when a guy going like this swings and misses at a pitch, no matter what it is. 1-1. And a ground ball to short. Desmond goes backhand. He's got a great arm. And a 1-2-3, top of the 7th. A big crowd's about to stretch and sing. It's a 6-4 Baltimore lead, and this one's getting interesting. Today's game is sponsored by the all-new Lexus RXF Sport. And the Lincoln Memorial all lit up on this Saturday evening. From some seats in this ballpark in the upper right-hand side, you can see the monuments of Washington, D.C. Bottom of the 7th, top of the order coming up. It'll be Lombardozzi, Harper, and Zimmerman. Another inning of work for the Orioles' Luis Ayala, the former National. Lombardozzi, big hit last time. Washington was shut out until he drove a 2-out single in the 5th. He goes left field line this time. Long way to go for Avery, and the ball well foul. Well, pretty good pedigree right here. Steve Lombardozzi, switching infielder, 23 years of age, born in Fulton, Maryland. Lives right up the road in Columbia between here and Baltimore. And his dad was a solid major league player.
Yep, and had a good run with the, I think the 87 Twins when they won the World Championship. His daddy did. Not certainly young Lombardozzi.
1 ball, 1 strike.
It's an interesting matchup right here. You can tell the confidence that Buck Showalter has in Ayala, being that sinker baller guy. A couple left-handers coming up. We've already seen Bernardina get a hit off of him.
And Lombardozzi has another base hit. Davy Johnson's going to have to find ways to get him more at-bats. Let's have a look at the Lexus in-game box score. Lombardozzi now checks in with 2 hits. Ryan Zimmerman, who's on deck, has a couple. And then RBIs from Lombardozzi and Keel and Maldonado. So the Nationals dying for offense this year, doing a pretty good job of battling back here.
Yeah, and Davey said that Lombardozzi, he thinks, is an everyday type player. Now, what do you do with that? Because you have some talent at these positions that he also plays. Is he that super utility, that Tony Phillips type guy that was around the league and playing every position, but he got 600 at bats a year?
Bryce Harper 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground ball, facing the sinker baller who loves to go down and away from lefties. The target's out there, and that's a pretty good take by a rookie on an 0-1 pitch.
Well, you can tell his approach is sound. He's been pitched to tonight, there's no doubt about it. And like we talked about, he's 19 years old. He's running up against guys that are at the top of their game. He's 19, but his approach is sound. This kid's going to hit in the big leagues, and he's going to be a star.
Harper, right field, but he didn't get it. Right off the end of the bat, and it'll fall to Nick Markakis for the first out. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network Studios, for a game break.
Bob, Sox and Cubs. Adam Dunn walks, strikeout, and homers. 3 walks tonight, 60 strikeouts for the year to lead the big leagues. His 13th home run tonight. The big donkey gets one, Ripper. What does it sound like out there when he hits one like that? I know you can do it.
Well, if I was doing the game, I'd have said, ski-haw.
Adam Dunn wanted a 4-year contract 2 years ago from the Nationals. They were not willing to go 4. He went to Chicago. Had a horrible season last year. He may be the redemption guy of 2012.
I tell you what, and Matty just said it right when he was in the studio talking about it. He walks, he strikes out, or he homers. And if you can live with that and he can run into some with the homers, you certainly live with all the strikeouts. But he's on fire right now. The man can hit a ball a long, long way.
And he doesn't have to play first base like he did here.
Correct.
Ryan Zimmerman, a base hit up the middle, a double to the right side. Washington suddenly with 8 hits here, including 1 in this inning. Zimmerman, 1 home run this year. The shoulders got in the way of him driving the ball some. Inside out swing, no balls, 2 strikes.
It's a tough matchup right now for Zim. We've seen his approach. He's coming back from injury. He's got a couple knocks tonight. But this is that bowling ball sinker that he's got to deal with right now. I don't think he's going to see too much stuff out over the plate in the rest of this at bat.
There's a breaking ball away from Ayala. When he gets ahead, he's tough.
Yeah, and like I said, he's going to see a slider out over the plate right here and swing and miss it. That's exactly what I meant to say, Bob. Sorry about that.
There you go. This MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. And Billy and I wore our lapel pins to honor the Boys and Girls Club tonight. Here's Adam LaRoche, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
And I'd like to point out my mother has been president in Aberdeen, Maryland, of the Boys and Girls Club, too. Just thought I'd throw that out there to you, Bob.
Well, she had to do something to keep the Ripken boys off the streets. Probably had to get you guys to come home every once in a while for a meal and get you off the baseball diamond.
I like the way you cleaned that up, because a minute ago you said off the streets.
1 ball and no strikes to Adam LaRoche, who's flied out twice, walked and scored. This guy's dangerous as long as he represents the tying run. He's hit 7 home runs, driven in 30. And you know one thing about LaRoche, you've got to throw him a couple of strikes to get him out. This is one of the best batting eyes in the National League. He's walked 20 times this year.
This could be one of the approaches, too, with a sinker away where you think about that left center field gap. He's got good power that way.
Ayala gets one at the knees. I'm not sure LaRoche liked that call from Andy Fletcher. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think a couple things happened there. He was looking for that 2-0 fastball out over the dish, and he threw a breaking ball in there. I think it's a good pitch. I think it fooled him regardless. The pitch, and I think the pitch was a strike as well.
2-1. Runner at first, 2 outs. Big shift is on again with about 70 feet of room on the left side of the infield. And a swing and a miss. Counts even.
It's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right there. LaRoche is looking for it. The bottom fell out of it. That's some kind of sinker right now.
Well, the Nationals have had lots of come from behind wins this year. And look at who's better. And a big 2-2 pitch in this game. Outside, ball 3. Lombardozzi, good speed at first. Coach Trent Jewett will check in with him. Desmond on deck. And Lombardozzi will be off with the pitch as Wilson Betemit goes to play behind him. And on an off-speed pitch, Ayala strikes out Adam LaRoche. And he's done a big-time job against his former teammates here. 6-4 into the 8th. Big time relief job by Luis Ayala of the Orioles. Now we go top 8. Matt Wieters, Wilson Betemit, and Steve Tollefson for Baltimore. They've had 1 hit since the 5th inning as the Washington bullpen has settled this game down. Wieters 0 for 3. Driving the ball to left right at Roger Bernardino. Wilson Betemit will be next.
Perry's come in and done a nice job. As you said, he's established a solid fastball, low to mid 90s. Hitting some pretty good hitters out right now. The bullpen's done a nice job for the Nats.
Yeah, bullpen's been one of their strengths this year. ERA 3.48, and that's without Drew Storen throwing one pitch this year after 40-plus saves as a rookie. Brad Lidd saved a couple of games early, then he had to go on the DL because of a hernia.
And we talked about this too, the importance of Ryan Zimmerman in the lineup for the Nats, because it puts everybody in the right spot. It's the same thing on the back end of the bullpen. Even though there's quality arms, as soon as you lose your closer like that, somebody else has got to come in, somebody else has got to do the job of the setup guy or whoever came in, and the dominoes just keep going. So it's important to have your people in place.
Betemit 1 for 3 tonight, and he drives that one to center. It'll back up Rick Ankiel. 2 quick outs here in the 8th inning. Perry just 25 years of age. Sometimes these young flamethrowers take a while to figure it out. Buck Showalter made an interesting comment to us today. He said from his experience, between the ages of 28 and 32 is when a lot of guys figure out who they are and how to pitch at this level.
Yeah, and the term figure it out is good. I like to use the term get it. You don't know when they're going to have that light bulb moment that happens. And if the kid figures out all of a sudden, because the stuff is there, and then all of a sudden you tweak something a little bit along the way and you figure it out, as to use your term, things can happen in a positive way, and it can happen quickly.
By the way, there's a guy throwing here tomorrow who's 23, but he's figuring it out pretty quickly. Steven Strasburg goes for Washington tomorrow.
Well, I don't think he needs to get it. I think he's had it.
He's got it.
He understands when you have his stuff, but there's also something about him when you've seen him come back from the injury, that there is a little bit of a different look about him, his presence on the mound and everything that goes with that. And the wonderful thing about this game of baseball, you can always get more. And even though he's got plenty, he's going to add to it.
Perry gives up a fly ball to Tollefson. Bernardina right there. A very routine inning. Washington's bullpen has retired 9 out of 10 batters tonight. Ian Desmond coming up in a 6-4 game. Sponsored by MasterCard. Shop and pay your bills online with MasterCard prepaid cards. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Not that far from South Capitol Street, and at Nationals Park, this one's going bottom 8. Desmond Ankiel Maldonado for the Nationals, and Luis Ayala is still pitching for Baltimore. It's a bullpen that, quite honestly, has been taxed lately, Bill, because of all those extra inning games, including a couple of extra frames here last night.
Yeah, they just don't play extra inning games. They want to really overdo it and keep playing them. But their record in those extra inning games is really good. I think it's a sign of a good ball club.
Ian Desmond, extra bases, right field corner. And he checks in with a double. He has now hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. And that's his 48th hit of the season, which has him in the top 8 in the National League. And that's all Buck Showalter needed to see. He's been warming up Troy Patton, the left-hander. That's a hitter with lots of pop going the other way. Deeper into the Baltimore bullpen in a moment. Six-year-old Troy Patton, 16 games, probably the most inflated ERA in the bullpen, and that'll give Davey Johnson a chance to go to his bench, and a veteran right-handed hitter in Xavier Nady, who will hit for Rick Ankiel. And Nady has come alive as a pinch hitter, 2 for 5 with a home run.
You're even looking at Patton's sort of inflated ERA, still with 12 punches and only 4 walks. And you don't think about this kind of guy being a punch-out guy. He's throwing some breaking balls up there that are spinning that just don't get there from time to time.
Xavier Nady was sitting home in the San Diego area, and he got a call from Mike Rizzo, the Nationals GM, in the middle of March that said, how quickly can you get to Vieira, Florida? Abbreviated spring training, made the team, and he's had spot duty in the outfield. But his best production, as mentioned, has been coming off the bench. With Michael Morse out, left field has been kind of a black hole for Nationals offense. Very few hits, very few RBIs.
Nady certainly had his share of injuries. You never know where he would have been. Got a nice swing.
And another one last year when he broke his hand and had only at 206 at bats for the Diamondbacks. 4 homers, 35 RBIs in 82 games. Chicago the year before that, Yankees before that, Tommy John surgery in 2009. He's 33 years of age now and still plugging away. his 11th year in the big leagues. And a 1-2 pitch is a fastball taken well off the plate inside.
I think that was his design right there, just to show him a 90-mile-an-hour fastball in. My guess is going to be he's going to go to work something off speed, out over the plate, down and away. Showed him 90 in, see what happens on this pitch.
2-2 with a runner in scoring position. Stays alive. By the way, Washington tonight, 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Lombardozzi delivering a big hit in the 5th inning to get that started. And then Rick Ankiel delivered, as did Roger Bernardino 1 inning later. Some crowd tonight, 42,331. That's over the capacity of this ballpark by some 500 people. Nady took a home run, game-tying cut right there.
And you wonder with that swing, too, because, you know, when you go up to home plate, you have an idea. The other 90-mile-an-hour pitch set up the changeup away, and now he's back in there with 90. And he didn't miss that by much, and he swung hard. Now the guessing game begins. Does he try that again? Is Nady thinking now away again with something off speed? This is where the fun begins.
He spots the breaking ball and takes it inside.
Oh, this is a great at-bat right now. You know, and in this game, good at-bats don't always result in knocks, but this at-bat right here is a quality at-bat by a big league hitter.
Three and two with nobody out. Nady reaching to stay alive again. He'll battle through at least 9 pitches in this at bat.
And this is one of those differences too. When I said big league hitter, also a big league pitcher on the mound, he's not giving in. You know, he feels good enough he can throw 3 pitches for a strike, and that's got to be in the back of Nady's mind right here. That was a changeup away. Going back to work. 3-2. Do it again.
Off speed, still got a piece of it.
And the more pitches Nady sees right here, the more in the driver's seat he becomes. Because now he said, okay, I've seen everything you got. I feel like I've seen everything. I recognize what you have. If you make a mistake with one of them, I'm going to do some damage.
Nady hit his 100th career home run here this week. He's hit 3 home runs, driven in 4. That's hit hard down to third for Steve Tollison. Looks back the runner and delivers to Betemeet for a very important first out.
You know, and ideally, I think with a man on second, no outs, you want to get the runner over and maybe get within 1 again. But that type of an at-bat that Nady just put on Patton right there, he's battling to stay alive. He's trying to get a knock to prolong the inning. So not only are we going to get 1 run closer, we're going to keep this train moving, and I'm going to get on base where we can possibly tie it.
Pedro Strop got the save in the ballgame for the Orioles last night. Matches up with Maldonado, the catcher, straight ahead. Strop, former Texas Ranger. He came on last night in the bottom of the 11th. Had a strikeout, wild pitch that allowed a runner to get on base. Gave up a hit to Ryan Zimmerman. Bounced out Adam LaRoche to end the game. And he goes righty-righty here with Carlos Maldonado, the big, strong Washington catcher. Way outside. Maldonado 0 for 3 tonight with an RBI ground ball. He has hit 3 career home runs in 25 games. Parts of 3 years with the Pirates and the Nationals. He was here 2 years ago and homered at Houston. Just in case you're wondering about his potential power.
I think Strop has what we would call the quick twitch muscle. That ball comes out of his glove when he separates his hands. That gets up almost into like a catcher's throwing position, and then it is gas is what he's releasing.
1 ball, 1 strike. Outside, backhand stop Wieters. And by the way, the rest of this inning looks like it belongs to Pedro Strop. Nobody warming in the Baltimore bullpen despite left-handed hitting. Roger Bernardina on deck.
I think Buck's got a guy out there that throws 97, 98 miles an hour, sometimes 99. Yeah, I feel pretty good about him getting 2 outs too. 11
straight appearances without giving up a run, and that's way inside ball 3.
Let's take a little look at this delivery right here, because once that gets out there, you see how high his hand is? It's a little bit on the abnormal side, but I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with that velocity.
.97 on that one. He had Maldonado reaching. I'll tell you one thing, if Henry Rodriguez of Washington follows this guy into the game, you're going to see everything 97 or above here shortly.
Certainly the last 11 games been getting it done, that's for sure.
Yep. 3 saves, giving Johnson some badly needed breathers. And a 3-2 with 1 out. Maldonado hangs tough.
.3-2 count, doesn't want to walk him, so he took a little off of that and just threw it 96. How nice is that?
What's that, his BP fastball?
Yeah. Let's take a little off so I can throw a strike. Here's 96 for you.
Maldonado, and that is low.
Wow.
Looked like a breaking ball. He threw it over the plate, but down. 2 on, 1 out. And now the tying runs on base.
So Maldonado, either this was the best take on the planet, or it just completely buckled him and he had no chance to swing at it anyway.
Yeah.
Either way, he gets to first base.
Yeah, even from the side camera, which usually makes everything look at least knee high,
right,
that appeared to be a little low.
Yep. That's a great at bat right there. I'd love to think that he did that on purpose and he saw that and spit on it. I still think it buckled him.
Yeah.
But he got fortunate and the ball was down.
And a big spot for Roger Bernardina, who's 2 for 2 tonight, on base 3 times. He takes it low and inside. Davey Johnson has one more left-handed bat. That switch hitter, Danny Espinosa. The early mention tonight we gave of him slumping a bit and not in the lineup, replaced by Lombardozzi. Bernardina will fly to center. Adam Jones cruising short of the track. Desmond will tag. A good read by him. He goes to third base with 2 outs. Well, Davey Johnson knows the lineup's about to be turned over here, so he's going to use most of his bullets by the end of the 8th inning. His only position player left in the dugout now is his starting catcher, Jesus Flores, and it'll be Danny Espinosa batting here. Espinosa has had 1 pinch hitting appearance this year, 0 for 1, and he's hitting just .209, but he has gap and home run power potentially.
Yeah, sometimes when you're scuffling a little bit, you clear your head, you get an opportunity to come up there. I mean, there's pressure on pinch hitters, but for the most part, you're going up there to try to put a good swing on the ball. It's not about the situation. Let's see if I can get one I like and put a good pass on it.
He gets started with an off-speed breaking ball that catches the outside corner.
And when things aren't necessarily going right, they'll flip up a breaking ball. You get the benefit of the doubt, and you're sitting there 0-1.
Yeah.
That's normal behavior.
Tying runs at first base. An important run at third here with 2 outs. And Espinosa will hit it, but right at Xavier Avery. And the Orioles will survive another inning. This battle of the Beltways goes into the 9th. Baltimore by 2. Xavier Nady stays in the game, plays right field. That's where Bryce Harper was. He's in center now. And the Nationals will come with their fireballer. You're talking 97 to 100 here, Henry Rodriguez. 3 blown saves, all on the road. At home, he's been pretty effective. The strikeout total pretty normal for him, but the walks have been too much. He walked 2 batters last Sunday in Cincinnati. That got him to Joey Votto, who promptly hit a walk-off grand slam, the 3rd of his homers in that game. So Rodriguez, 22 strikeouts in 17 innings.
Yeah, I think when you have this good of an arm, you certainly don't want to put the free passes out there, give teams opportunities. Because there's one thing about guys that throw hard, when somebody does run into one, it has a tendency to go far.
Especially Joey Votto.
Yeah.
He walked Drew Stubbs, who was hitting 240, and Chris Heisey, who was hitting 200, before Votto hit one 418 feet. So here we go, top of the 9th. Xavier Avery leads off for the Orioles. Another good night for this young hitter. A walk, a run scored. He's 1 for 2 with a double.
Now, hopefully, I think in that situation right there, I think that Avery's looking at possibly just seeing a ball, because I don't know if you want to bunt somebody throwing 97, 98. Not the easiest thing to do.
2-0. And Rodriguez is the kind of pitcher, and he's still only 25 years of age. He came over here with another player for Josh Willingham, December of 2010. What happens at the beginning of his inning usually affects how he finishes the inning. If somebody gets on base, he gets pretty uptight. And that's ball 3.
In a lot of cases there, that is age, not so much age in numbers as much as inexperience on the mound. And that's something that you got to harness. Because when you have this good of stuff, you can put somebody on, you make a pitch, you get a double play, you get 2 outs for the price of 1.
That was former National Nick Johnson waiting to hit for Pedro Strop.
.30 count, throw the first one over the plate. Come back one at a time. You can't worry about the first 3 pitches. You got to go attack them 1 pitch at a time from now.
94. You know, his changeup is about 90 to 91, so that would be sort of his BP fastball, halfway in between there. Did you ever face any guys with 90-mile-an-hour changeups?
No, in fact, when you watch Strasburg throw that 90-mile-an-hour changeup, I think to Chipper Jones earlier in this year or last year, and how Chipper just shakes his head and says, come on, man, you're throwing 90-mile-an-hour changeups? And that's because of the normal differential of almost 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because Strasburg was throwing 99 and 100.
And Strasburg's 90 really moves like a changeup. It's a little bit scary, to be quite honest. He'll pitch here tomorrow.
And Justin Verlander certainly has that same type of changeup when he's throwing as well.
3-2 pitch. Rodriguez throws it right by Xavier Avery.
See, that's an outstanding job right there. You fall behind 3-0 and you come all the way back and finish with a punchy in the middle of the strike zone.
The MLB Fan Cave is back. Some of baseball's biggest stars scheduled to visit and appear in Fan Cave videos like when model Kate Upton stopped by last week. Check out all the latest cave happenings at MLBFancave.com. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter, and you can like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. Nick Johnson was a very popular player here in Washington. Came here from the Expos, where he was oft injured. And he was here from 2005 to July 31st of 09 when he was traded to Florida. Well, we see some Expos gear in this ballpark from time to time. Johnson will top it and hit it down to a very smooth fielding first baseman, Adam LaRoche, 2 down. The Nationals bullpen, and that was Craig Stammen way back in the 6th, giving the Orioles 1 base hit. He had a scoreless 6th. Ryan Perry, 2 scoreless innings, and now Rodriguez, 2 outs in the 9th. So the stage is set for the bottom of this inning, for the top of the Washington batting order. And is he the best closer in the game right now? He's certainly the most effective.
And he certainly got the longest streak right now as far as consecutive closes are concerned. And you know what? When you look at this, if you're the Nationals, could this be one of those things you look back on if you could put something on him in the 9th inning? Look, they're scuffling to score runs. We know that. You got a guy out there in the bullpen that's probably going as good as anybody in the game right now. What can you do with him if you get out of this inning, go to the bottom of the 9th and try to put something on one of the best closers in the game?
Robert Andino, 2 hits tonight, 2 RBIs, a run scored.
Rodriguez starting to get loose now.
Yeah, 98.
Threw that one 98. You know, we saw some 94s, 96 in there. Starting to get loose. He worked up a lather.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with letting up a bit and throwing 94 over the plate with some movement, is there? And that's what he did to Xavier Avery after falling behind. And a ball popped out into center. Bryce Harper is there. And this one's going to come down to the bottom of the 9th. Washington's top of the order, including Zimmerman and Harper, straight ahead. Let's have a look at our Burger King smooth play of the day. In fact, 2 smooth plays on big swings by the Orioles. Adam Jones, 3rd inning there, Bill.
Burger King smooth play. That should have been the double whopper is what that should have been.
And then 2 innings later, Nick Markakis. So Jones hits his 14th, Markakis his 8th. 4 of the 6 Orioles runs on those 2 swings. And again, the Orioles this year are 12-1 when Adam Jones homers. They're 3 outs away from adding 1 in the win column there. Strike 1 to Steve Lombardozzi, bottom of the 9th. Ryan Flaherty checks in for defense at 3rd base. Orioles trying to win the series here, no matter what happens against Steven Strasburg tomorrow.
Look at this movement on these pitches, too. Jim Johnson, you talk about a super sinker. He's got him.
Ball flared foul. Lombardozzi, another good night, batting nearly .330 now as he goes 2 for 4 with an RBI tonight. It's going to be tough for Davey Johnson to leave this young man out of this struggling lineup.
You got to give this kid an opportunity to play. You really do, because he's a spark that you desperately need in the Nationals lineup.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Tough guy to strike out, Lombardozzi. He's had 66 now 70 at bats on the year, and he's only struck out 5 times. Johnson leads everybody in saves, and he hasn't blown one this season. 22 straight going back to last fall.
And that's what he has the ability to do, too, because you saw everything down in the zone earlier, running away, and it looked like he elevated a 4-seam fastball on purpose to try to get that punch out up the ladder. I venture to say he's going back down in the strike zone with something. There it is.
Lombardozzi stays right with it. First time this rookie's ever faced this 28-year-old closer, who got himself on the board with 9 saves last year.
Good Lombardozzi battling in there. 96, might have been off the plate a little bit, but you can't take it. You're in a situation where you're in a battle. Just flicks the bat out and lives for another pitch.
Big bats to follow here. Harper and Zimmerman, bottom of the 9th. Off-speed pitch, up the middle, to his right. Robert Andino, 1 out.
It's a nice play by Andino. Lombardozzi can run a little bit, and he gets over there, makes the play. Watch him set himself as quick as he can. Doesn't throw it that off balance. He says, if I make a good, strong throw right here, I'm going to get him. Lombardozzi on his 8th pitch of the at-bat on a 1-2 count, because he fouled an awful lot of pitches off. Johnson comes with an overhand hook. Lombardozzi almost with an infield knock, but Andino with a nice play.
Bryce Harper, hot shot right at Flaherty. That's why you put a guy in for defense. 2 outs.
And when you get in the game on defense, the ball will find you. Whatever position you get put into, the ball's coming your way. Nice play.
Baltimore Orioles are trying to win their 5th game in a row and go 13 games over 500 here. There is nothing fluky about what they're doing in the American League East and in interleague play so far.
Kind of a little bit of a formula from the Earl of Baltimore, Earl Weaver. Hit some home runs and pitch well, and that's what they're doing.
Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 3 career against Johnson, who's trying to pump some strikes and get the Orioles right out of here. Zimmerman 2 for 4 tonight. One pitch. Outside corner, strike 2.
That's the other thing. One thing is velocity, movement, and now it's location too. You saw the 0-1 pitch. He tried to go out there with 95, missed outside. Says, let me stay out there and see what happens. Brings back a two-seamer to the outside corner at 94. It's a pitch you can't hit.
Fastball away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, last year, each of these teams won 2 out of 3 in their own ballpark. Baltimore about to take the first 2 here. Zimmerman gets a hold of one. That ball is going and out of here. It's a 6-5 game.
There's life. There's life.
Ryan Zimmerman, second of the year, RBI number 12.
Looks like he wanted to come in. He stayed away. The one time he comes in, Zimmerman pulled his hands get the barrel of the bat to the ball, drives it out of the ballpark.
Adam LaRoche now gives Washington a chance here. Tying run at the plate with 1 out to go. Strike 2.
Nice two-seamer away. You see that late movement on it. Velocity and location and movement.
They have Adam LaRoche 0 for 8 in this series. With 1 walk and that fastball wasted up high, 1-2.
I think LaRoche can pretty much look out over the plate. I don't think Johnson's going to try to come in. If he gets beat by him, he's going to want him to beat him to the opposite way or the big part of the field.
Only the second time he's seen Jim Johnson. 0 for 1, and he's worked the count back even.
That's where Johnson has to tell himself, I'm just 1 quality pitch away from getting out of this thing, even though I gave up that homer.
Swing and just a piece of it. Nets and O's, they call them around here. Another big battle tonight. Another 1-run game. Who would have thought it after Baltimore went up 6-0 in the 5th inning? Ball 3, low and in.
I don't think Johnson's going to give in to him, though. 3-2. He's still going to try to make his pitch right here.
That is a swing and a miss, and the game is over. 3 hours and 2 minutes for a 6-5 battle tonight. Big night for Adam Jones. Big night for Nick Markakis. And the Orioles are high flying again. For Bill Ripken, Bob Carpenter, so long from Nationals Park. A complete wrap-up with Matt Vasgersian in the MLB Network studio after these messages.